drive. It's Grant for the jumper. Yes! With 1.4 to go, Brian Grant goes bottoms up.
Grant with another offensive rebound. And slam! And foul!
My mic on. Can you hear me? All right. Thank you. Some of you may remember me as Brian Grant, the athlete, but this is who I am today, an advocate for Parkinson's disease. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you out to TEDxPortland 2013. And I'm nervous. I don't know if you know that, but I'm damn nervous. This year's theme is what if. And one thing that I have in my life is a lot of what ifs, and I'd like to share those with you. But if I can take one of those what ifs and tell you was the most important in my life, it was the fact that I was given a second chance, and I'll allude more to that when I come to it. Also, each one of you received a domino. That domino is symbolic of the what if moments in our lives, so please hold on to it. My story starts in my hometown, which is east of Cincinnati, Georgetown, Ohio. When I was growing up in Georgetown, there were probably about 1,800 people in Georgetown, and we had 2 traffic lights. Now we've got about 3,500 people, and they actually put in a 3rd traffic light. When people ask me, did I always love basketball, I tell them no, because basketball wasn't my first love. But when I started to grow taller than all my cousins and all my friends, I sort of had to pick it up, so I started playing basketball in my 8th grade year. I played my freshman year, had a mediocre season, but something happened that I wasn't expecting, and my 5'6" father and my 5'7" mother definitely weren't expecting. I grew from 5'10" and a half at the end of my freshman year. By the time I came back for my sophomore year, I was 6'4". So I don't know about you, but my mom used to put my clothes in layaway in the beginning of summer. So when we went to go pick up those clothes, let's just say I was way up there. I actually was the first one to start wearing the pants down halfway before it was really cool. So my sophomore year, I didn't play basketball because I was having so many growing pains. Junior year, had every intention of going out for the team, but because I was a little bit of a knucklehead in high school, I got into it with my coach and got kicked off the team. And this brings me to one of those significant moments in my life. I was driving down the street with my mom in her white Oldsmobile, and a college advertisement came on. After the advertisement went off, I looked at my mom and said, "Mom, I'm going to college." She quickly pulled over, slammed on the brakes as I hit the windshield, looked at me and said, "What did you say?" I said, "Mom, I'm going to college." She said, "No, you're not. At the rate you're going, you're not even going to graduate." And those were some tough words to hear. So at that point, I didn't think about going to college. I didn't think about going to the NBA. But what I was going to do is start going to my classes, doing all my work, and I was going to prove to her that I could at least graduate from high school. And I did. My senior year came around. We got a new basketball coach, and he basically told me that all the things that he had heard about me was water under the bridge. 2 weeks later, I got in a fight and was suspended for 5 days. When you get suspended for 5 days, you get 5 zeros, and they're really hard to make up. So I was really cramming, getting extra credit work, because I wanted to be eligible to play basketball. But it came down to one class that I really didn't like too much, and that was American history. The reason I don't like American history because when African Americans make up 1% of the town that you're growing up in, when you're going through American history class and you're going through the Civil War times, you start to hear things that you really don't want to hear, especially when you're the only black kid in the class. So I didn't care too much for American history. But my teacher, he was a really good teacher. His name was Stanley Mart. That's Mr. Mart up there. told me that in order to pass his class, I could only miss one question. So I took the test. After I was done, I knew that I missed more than one. So the next day, I went in. He told me to stay after class. I went up to his desk and I looked down. I had missed 4 questions. So then he goes on to lecture me about, son, you can't get in a fight every time somebody calls your name that you don't like. And I agreed. Son, you got to give more of an effort than you've given on this test. I said, I agree. I'm not making any excuses, but I was cramming, even though that was just an excuse. After that, Mr. Mark did something, and I've never announced this publicly. Only a few people know, my mom and definitely Mr. Mark. What he did next really changed my life because he went down to the problem, read out the problem, and asked me what the answer was. I looked at it. I knew the answer. It was C. And he told me, why didn't you put C? He allowed me to go down and correct 2 more questions so long as I knew the answer. So if that doesn't happen for Brian Grant, 17 years old, in Georgetown, Ohio, I don't go to college, I don't go to the MBA, and I'm definitely not here struggling to talk to you right now. But it did happen, and I went on to have a great senior year. Another thing that happened in my life was that there was an anonymous phone caller who called Xavier University 7 times and finally convinced them to come watch a practice. When the coach came up, saw the practice, he went up to my coach and said, who else knows about this kid? I said, nobody. He said, keep it that way. So my coach didn't let any other teams come out. We ended up going to the tournament. Oh, check out the shorts too. Up there. We ended up going to the tournament. Pete Gillen was the head coach. He came out, saw the game, said it was a tough loss, and then offered me the final scholarship to Xavier University. Then I was on my way to Xavier. Got some extra grads in here. When I got to Xavier, of course, I was the last person to receive a scholarship. We had 2 All-Americans, 1 Dapper Dandy, and a Mr. Basketball, and then me. 3rd team state, and I think in rebounding. So I had to really work hard and take advantage of any opportunity that I had come across. I was able to start in the preview game against the Polish national team, and I saw that as an opportunity, so I went out and gave my all and ended up with 20 points and 16 rebounds. I ended up starting all 4 years at college, made the MCC team all 4 years, and was MCC Player of the Year twice. Now college was coming to an end, and I had to think about what I wanted to do. Basketball just was not in the cards for me. I never thought that I'd have the opportunity to play basketball after college. But my coach came up to me and asked me, well, he actually came up to me and told me that there were 3 agents that wanted to speak to me. 2 of them were from Cincinnati, and they both told me, Brian, if you go to the postseason camps, you'll absolutely play yourself out of any chance of getting drafted, and you probably won't be able to go overseas. There was another agent who told me a different story. He said, if I don't go to those camps, I definitely won't get drafted, and I definitely won't get an opportunity to play. So, he believed in me, so I began to believe in myself, and I went off to these camps. I just want to mention the camp a little bit. It's called the Desert Classic. It's kind of like college coming in, nobody knows you, and we'd have a skill day in the morning. And I can remember going down and doing a jump hook and throwing it over the backboard, not over the rim, but over the backboard, because I was so nervous, like I am right now. But that evening, I went up to 2 of my point guards. Casey Jones was my coach. I went up to 2 of my point guards and I told them, listen, if I get the rebound, give you the ball, beat everybody down the court, will you throw me the ball? They said, you're going to get the rebound, give it to me, beat me down the court, I'll throw it to you. And they did. That first game, I ended up with 20 points and 20 rebounds. Next game, I ended up with 18 points, 20 rebounds. And the last game, I ended up with 13 points, 16 rebounds. Now I'd gone from somebody that nobody even wanted to hear about to having 15 team workouts. Those 15 team workouts led to me being drafted number 8 in the 1994 NBA draft to Sacramento. Thank you. I played 3 years in Sacramento. I had a great time, but then it was time to go, and I ended up here in the Rose City, Portland, Oregon. While I was playing for Portland, I have 2 fond memories that I'll always remember. And this is one of them. I only show that clip because I want you to see how poised he is, and I'm the one moving around because I'm just hoping he doesn't, you know, kind of look tough for a minute, but that's Karl Malone. That's somebody I idolize. But on a serious note, I was able to go out and hold him to 8 points in 46 minutes, and after the game, he came up to me and told me that I was one of the best players he had gone against, which was the highlight for me in my career. But something that's even more important about Karl that most of you probably don't know is when I was diagnosed with Parkinson's, I received a phone call. "Brian, this is Karl. I heard you're sick." "Yeah," and he goes, "What can I do?" I said, "Well, one thing we can do is we can go fishing and auction it off." That's exactly what we did. We went fishing, caught the big salmon, and we also got $107,000 donated to the foundation. The next one, I'm just gonna put up on the screen. Any of you guys that are from Portland and Portland fans, 2000 playoffs, up 15 points, 6 minutes to go. Everyone's celebrating. We end up losing. The Lakers go on to build the next dynasty, and our team falls apart. But that's my second most memorable moment. Not a good memory. They can't all be good. Then I went on to Miami, and I like to talk about Miami because of this man right here, Coach Riley, who was the best coach I've ever played for. The thing about Riley is the number one thing that I learned from him is that when I'm so tired and feel like I can't go on, he reminds you that you always have an extra 20%, and he gets it out of you too. And then also, he taught me about the game of basketball from the business side and about how to be a professional, and that really carried over for me. I was traded from Miami, went to LA, Lakers, was there for a year, left, went to Phoenix, and now it was time for my career to die down because these knees just couldn't take it anymore. And it was a big what if in my life. And next, I like to talk about the big four, the thing I call the big four in my life: retiring, depression, divorce, and Parkinson's. Now, I'm a believer, and I know that God won't give me more than I can handle. That was a lot. That was a lot. But a friend really put things into perspective when he told me, embrace the beautiful gift of despair that God has given you because it's going to break you down because he knows he wants to build you up. And that's exactly what happened. I was able to get through retirement. I was able to overcome depression. I was able to get through a divorce. And for Parkinson's, I was able to form the Brian Grant Foundation, which helps people like myself with young onset Parkinson's live fulfilling and active lives. Next, talking about active and fulfilling lives, I challenged my foundation and 6 other Parkinson's patients to climb up Mount St. Helens. I don't know what I was thinking, but we ended up doing it. And it makes me think of a quote that a coach once gave me. You can't always control the outcome in life, but you can always control the amount of effort you put into it. And I'd like you to see a little bit of this effort we put in going up Mount St. Helens. For someone like myself who's an athlete who, I feel like I should make it up this mountain, but then there's that physical side of it too, where I keep forgetting I'm not a young 20-year-old who could run up and down the court. And I'm 40 with 2 bum knees and other things kind of holding me back. But definitely, if you can get it, keep it in the mind that you're going to make it, I think that you can make it. I think I'll make it. I don't know. I'm going to see what's over this ridge up here. I never ever thought about climbing Mount St. Helens, but I'm glad I chose to do it when I had a disability like Parkinson's versus doing it when I'm supposed to make it.
First Karl Malone, then Mount St. Helens. Oh,
I need some love.
Nice, good job.
There's so many reasons why you want to stop and turn around, but you just gotta find that one reason to keep going. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, piece of cake. No. That was tough, man.
Do it again tomorrow.
I put that in the same category as a Pat Riley practice. It's been a good ride. It's been a good trip. Hopefully we'll do it again next year. Make it an annual thing. Everybody's looking like, oh, shoot, no.
You got people still.
I can honestly say that we took a vote when we got to the bottom of the hill. Let's just say we'll never be doing that again. That was enough. For me, climbing Mount St. Helens represents my life's journey. And as I watch this, I have to ask myself, if I wasn't diagnosed with Parkinson's, would I have tried to climb Mount St. Helens? Probably not. What if I had never played for a coach like Pat Riley, who taught me those things about having 20% left in the tank to get up Mount St. Helens or to get through the Big Four? Would I have been able to do it? Maybe, but it definitely helped. What if my agent, Mark Bartelstein, didn't believe in me and it convinced me to go to the postseason camps? Would I have even gotten drafted? I doubt it. What if an anonymous caller hadn't called Xavier 7 times, and bugged him to send somebody up to watch me practice? Would I have ended up going to a Division I school? Probably not. And the biggest what if for me is what if Mr. Mart hadn't given me a second chance on the test? And what if C wasn't the answer to that first question? Yeah, think about it. Think about it. The domino represents situations and moments that are lined up in my life. I've given each one of you your own domino. You can take it home, you can put it in your pocket, leave it on your car dash, put it in your dresser drawer. But I hope it serves as a reminder to you that when you're going through life's ups and downs, no matter what, that you're always able to watch where the next one falls for you. And remember, you can't always control the outcome of a situation or a moment, but you can always control the amount of effort you put into getting through it. I want to thank y'all for allowing me to come up here and talk to you.